Hey everybody, last time the Oakland Raiders were in the playoffs, chances are, if you're watching this and an Oaklander, you didn't even live in this city. I did. It was 2002. Bill Callahan was the coach, having taken over for John Gruden, who went from the Raiders to the Buccaneers the previous year and was on his way to marching the Buccaneers into the playoffs and eventually into the Super Bowl to play his old team, the Oakland Raiders, and beat them. I was at that game. The Raiders electrified Oakland. And so, in the spirit of the memory of what it was like to have a team not just be on the cusp of going to the Super Bowl, but getting into the playoffs, then having the AFC Championship at the Coliseum, the place rocking, and the Raiders winning, and you could feel the electricity of the people there. You could just the human energy, level of human energy was incredible. To have that happen in this town is unforgettable. And so, just a few short weeks, really two, after the tragic Oakland fire, we have this first bit, actually second bit, of good news related to sports. The first being the approval of the exclusive negotiating agreement between the Locke Group and the city of Oakland and the county of Alameda. Now the Raiders are solidly in the playoffs. And we have to expect that, given how well they played this year, the AFC Championship could very well be right here in Oakland yet again at the same decrepit Coliseum that everybody complains about, but I remind everyone, held up during the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake, 6 on the Richter scale without a scratch. That beautiful old place deserves an AFC Championship. And I'm going to predict that it's going to get one. If not, a party to celebrate the Raiders going on to the Super Bowl. What an incredible moment. And not only that, we can't forget that they beat the Chargers 19-16 in a game that, for a time, looked like the Chargers were going to win. They were up by as much as 10-3, before the Raiders really started making a game of it. Derek Carr was 19 of 30 for 213 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Latavius Murray, 13 rushes, 81 yards. The Raiders controlled the Chargers' ground game, and you have to give it to defensive coordinator Ken Norton and his staff for clearing up what has been for some time the Raiders' major bugaboo, their run defense. It has become one of the strengths of this organization's defensive squad. Yes, occasionally they still make the mistake of not stopping the backside run properly, but they've worked on it to a fairly well, and they stop it more often than not, as was less the case earlier this year. Congratulations to the Oakland Raiders. They're in the playoffs, and the city of Oakland could really use that kind of great news.